What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan podcast. First day of the year 2020, and everybody is hours into the first of many, or first of a couple, or the one of one resolutions that people have been making. And hopefully they haven't failed yet, right? I'm not a big fan of resolutions, but I do like the idea of self-growth, personal development. A couple years ago, my buddy Danny started recommending some of these different books, and he kind of directed me to the Jay Ferrugia Renegade Radio podcast, and because I was kind of indifferent about resolutions, but just this idea of having like focal words, focal points throughout the year, things to focus on throughout the year, and then reading was huge in the books that Danny was recommending, books on essentialism and mindset and things like that, and personal growth. So it's not like a self-help, right? The self-help crap that you get, that's I think where a lot of the resolutions come from, self-help type books, and it's a step, it's a process, I'm going to work on me for a year, but it's really just all about declaring that to other people as opposed to focusing on what you can do in those moments to make things better. And it's about executing the process, and that was kind of the, taking steps toward those things, and having a focal word made a lot of sense. And so in 2017, my focal words were prioritize and create, and it was just looking at kind of that essentialism sort of view of things, and what's necessary and what's not. And if it's not necessary, then why am I worrying about it? Why do I own it? Why am I spending my time on it? And it's obviously not that I have perfected those things, far from it. But when you have those focal points, you're kind of addressing the cause rather than just the symptom. If it's something as simple as I want to lose weight, or I want to gain weight, or I want to stop drinking soda, that stuff is great. But there could be other things that could be the symptom of something else. And so by dealing with or addressing, prioritizing things that are important to me, or things that I want to make important to me, that really kind of helped me just focus on what I needed to be spending time and energy and effort on. And then the create part of it was just to kind of take the freelance writing thing, or the just things that kind of make me feel more alive and whatnot. And then in that, not just outside of work. You take that and you apply that to all aspects of the life. And when you're at work, prioritizing work, and not just trying to get through it. And man, the last couple of years, I've always had a good time teaching here in Ketchikan, but the last couple of years has just been really fun because I'm kind of prioritizing how I treat people at school and the kids. I know it sounds weird being a teacher for a while, that I'm just now doing it, but I always have, but just like on a daily basis. And what else can I do? Make kids smile, but also, enjoy my time there. Because the more that I'm enjoying it, the more it doesn't feel like work. I mean, yeah, it's work, it's my job, but why not have fun, right? Like, why not? What can I do to have a better time for myself? And it sounds kind of selfish, but you do. You have to take care of yourself, because if you take care of yourself, then it's easier then to help other people. If you're so focused on how bad things are for you, then how are you going to help anybody? Right? You're just waiting to take your turn in the misery Olympics, and that's no good. That's no good, and it's hard to have an impact. And you feel that purpose, and you feel better about what you're doing. It just impacts other aspects of your life, and that was what started. I think it actually started reading in 2017. I think the words may have been from 2018, but anyway, just the ideas of applying those things and living with purpose have been huge, because I think that's where a lot of people fall short. We're at a time in our country that's weird, and there's suicide and depression are up, and people struggle to find purpose. And Sebastian Junger's book Tribe talked about people not, or modern society has perfected the art of people not feeling worthy or it's useful. Right? And if you don't see yourself as useful, or what you're doing is useful, then and you don't find that purpose, like, man, what are you doing? So I think a lot of people struggle to find it, and other people, I think, put it in the wrong spots. And I think there are times, and I've talked about this before, where I was so focused on my purpose being outdoor type stuff, and it was get through the work week, go to the weekend, catch fish, and I kind of got my validation from that. My purpose was having fun on the weekend, and it was cool, it was fun, but there has to be something more than that, because then if there's nothing more than that, there's not going to be enough steelhead to quench that thirst. There's not going to be a big enough steelhead. There's not going to be enough 4-point deer. There's not going to be a big enough bear. There's not going to be. You're always going to be chasing that. You're not going to be dealing with the issue. And some of the people that are outdoorsmen who just love being out there, and you can tell that they just love being out there, and it's the experience. Everyone says it's about the experience. Everybody says it's about getting outside. I think a lot of people, and I get caught up with it too, and everybody does at some point, you get caught up in the result. You go out hunting to hunt, you go out fishing to fish, but some people are able to kind of step back and say, okay, why am I here, right? It can't just be totally results based, and there is that element of validation that can come with it, especially in the era of social media, where you want to rub your antlers on social media and show everybody stuff that you've got, and I do it too. I mean, that's part of the marketing process, but it's also part of, you want to share that and share the success that you've had, but that can't be it. It's just too shallow, just too hollow. It's a lot of fun. Like, there's no question about that. And I will continue to post successes. But you have to be kind of wary of that, right? And so thinking about prioritizing that, and what are my priorities? Are my priorities here to get something, to shoot something cool, to put on Facebook? Is that my priority? Is it to show, to be able to have it on my cell phone, text pictures of things to people? Well, hey, look at this bear that I got. Look at this whatever that I got. Is that my main priority? Or is the priority the experience, the people I'm with, enjoying that? And then sharing. There's nothing wrong with sharing. But just checking the attitude, checking the ego. I think that's important for us. Otherwise, you kind of go down that road, and sometimes you can't get back. You can say the right thing, but you got to do that self-check, that self-analyze. And I think your resolution, the people who are successful with resolutions are the ones who check the motives for things, and are more real with themselves rather than just giving themselves outs. And the things that they say, the things that you don't like about other people are things you don't like about yourself. And that's true. Like, I hate it when I'm lazy. I hate it when I make excuses. And so that's why I talk about it. I don't talk about making excuses or how making excuses is weak because I'm judging other people. I'm saying that I hate when I do it because it's keeping me from improving and growing.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this new year. I don't have specific goals. And I don't have new words. I've thought about doing new words, but I think prioritizing and then creating, those are two words I just got to keep handle on, because I think as soon as I maybe transition to a different word, maybe I don't prioritize. So I got to keep prioritizing, and then, man, it's so much fun on the side to do the podcast, sitting in here in my room doing a podcast, creating something. And at this, I have no sponsors. I have who knows how many listeners. But every once in a while I get an email from people, or I get a comment, or get a review. Like, oh, cool, man, someone's listening. There was a guy from Kentucky that left a review. I was like, man, that's sweet. That's great. Maybe I can kind of connect again in this era of everyone's a professional, everyone's an expert. To kind of be a voice of just ordinary guy. No sponsors. I'm just guy. And I kind of nothing special at all. But to 123 episodes of creating this rambling and talking to people about stuff. It's been fun. I enjoy doing it. It's a nice thing to add. It's a positive thing to add, and something that I should prioritize. And I do want to prioritize. And there are times when I think, I don't want to do it, or it's not worth it, or it's not going anywhere. But no, and man, that's. And then I have other ones where I'm like, dude, I got some great feedback, and it's awesome. And then the writing on the side. Just doing something outside of fishing, hunting, and then work. Having that kind of third prong, something that you can do inside when it's dark, or when the weather's not good, or whatever it is. Something in those down times, because there's a lot of hours in the day. And if you subtract the work hours from the 24, there's still a good amount of hours left. And so what are you doing with that extra time? And so that create, and using a different part of the brain, or just something that's fun, outside of being outside, I think has been a lot of fun. It's been great. And then connecting with other people who do the same. I don't have, I have a lot of friends who have multiple aspects of their life. They're not overwhelmed, but they're just kind of efficient with their time. They prioritize so they can do multiple things well. They say jack of all trades, master of none. And you kind of got to decide where you are at on that one and how much time that you have, because obviously I have more time. I don't have kids. That's the first reason that some people use for why they can't do certain things, because they have kids. I'm like, yeah, I'm not judging. I'm not saying that anybody that has kids, well, then it's over. I'm just saying that this is what I do. I'm not saying anything else except for that. And so listeners can then come to their own conclusions, and they can, if they want to, reflect and say, I do have some time, and I want to create on the side, or I want to do some stuff on the side, or I want to, maybe prioritize a little bit, or maybe they make excuses. I don't know. I'm not concerned. I can't be concerned. I need to prioritize myself rather than being concerned with judging other people and what other people do, because I got to keep tabs on myself first and foremost. But speaking of that judgment thing, and it's resolution time, it would be nice if a lot of people made resolutions to just keep the emotional responses to stuff they don't know about off Twitter. It's not going to happen because Twitter's been weaponized. But it's just what you post is so different than what you say. If you're posting something about something that happened across the country, what you're saying, what I'm reading is, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've already made my opinion. Like, you don't know what you're talking about yet, right? You don't know this. I know a quarter of the story. I read one article on it, so now I'm an expert. So here's my opinion, and it's going to be some sort of emotional response to it, and that's crazy. It's crazy. None of us would want to be judged as fast as people on Twitter and social media are, and yet we know that it's bad, and we do it anyway. It's crazy. Like, if you look back at, humans have always done the worst thing possible to each other. You read history books, man, we always do that. And even when it comes to political systems, right? The political system is not the problem. The political system is that the problem with the political system is that it's run by flawed humans, right? Theoretically, communism, socialism, capitalism, whatever ism you want, like all that stuff is, theoretically, if it's done correctly, it should be fine. But you're dealing with humans who ultimately are going to make it the worst case possible. If you even say that, communism isn't bad, then oh my gosh, especially if it was the 50s and 60s, right? Socialism's good. Like, what are you? Yeah, in theory, yeah, someone can convince me that in theory socialism is good, maybe even communism. It's humans, man. That's the problem. You have flawed humans that are trying to run this, and there's going to be some greedy jerk, right? Just like Lord of the Flies, man. When Ralph was in control, it was okay for a day or two, and then you get the Jacks and you get the Rogers, and then all of a sudden things go crazy. That's from Lord of the Flies. If you haven't read that, then read it. And sorry to go English teacher on you there, but then it's the human flaw, man. We know that one of the worst things to do is get your validation from social media, and yet we do it. And that's why it's so empty, man, for a lot of people. You got to check yourself on that. And I got to check myself. I spend time scrolling through social media sometimes like, dude, that's a waste of time. I can validate it by saying, well, you have to have some sort of online presence because it's marketing and, you got to market your brand, which is yourself. But, dude, no, that was just me scrolling through it. That was not market research. That was nothing that can be explained away. That was you just wasting time. That was you not prioritizing. You need to you need to shut it down here, sport. So that's what we're looking at in 2020. Before I get rambling too much here, probably already have. Good luck with 2020, the start. If you do get off to a rough start, if you are trying to quit soda or something like that, man, and you go 7 days, and then you drink a soda on the 8th day, man, it's still 7 out of 8. It's not bad. You're off to a good start. So, and if you're the type of person who doesn't make resolutions and makes fun of people who make resolutions, shut your mouth, right? I mean, who are you to say that you don't have to reflect or you don't have anything in your life that you could change, right? And you go around saying, oh, well, you're going to fail anyway. They're trying something, right? At least they made it known. Like, what are you doing? What are you hiding, right? Are you so insecure and you're so sure that you're going to fail that you just make fun of other people, right? Yeah, I bet you be a little positive, right? Anyway, so we'll call that episode 123. Make sure you check out the mediocrealaskan.com. Check out the January 1st episode or issue of the Anchorage Daily News. I wrote a guest column in there about my book club that I'm in Ketchikan, as well as the future of fish. So it's kind of an interesting one there. It's kind of scary with the stocks, what's going on, and what to do going forward. And sometimes you can't help but think that the good days are too far gone, and it's tough to think about. But so feel free to drop an email, direct message, or anything like that if there's anything specific that you're looking for in 2020 content, people to talk to, other things about Alaska that's interesting. Sometimes people give me lines about who to talk to or stuff they want more of. People tended to like that muskeg hunting episode a couple weeks ago. So give that. If we need more stuff like that, then the great spring bear, steelhead, I don't know, whatever. I obviously like it because I'm not an expert myself. I can kind of tell you what works for me, and then maybe get you into someone who actually knows what they're doing. But so there it is. This is a 3-pronged end, and we'll call that episode 123. We'll talk to you next time.